afternoon and a warm welcome to Nosey Roads and helens, where this afternoon the Saints entertain Salford. Saints being led out today by the matchday mascot, another young lady for today's match. It's Sarah Williams. That's Sarah. She's 6 years old. She attends Carmel Infants School. She's out there with her favourites, just out there with Captain Shane Cooper. A big day for young Sarah. It's quite nippy out there. The sun's gone in after a very hazy start, but the sun's gone in. It's a little misty, but we look forward to a good match today. Also on the Salford side, we have a young lady mascot there, sporting number 13 on her back. Brian just picking the Salford mascots up. She's Jennifer Nash. Jennifer's 8 years of age. She's substituting for her brother Stephen, who unfortunately has chicken pox. Anyway, I'll just run through the teams for you now. Saints first, of course. Number 1, Michael O'Connor. 2, Mike Carrington. 3, David Tanner. 4, Paul Loughlin. 5, Les Quirk. 6, Shane Cooper. 7, Darren Blower. His first time in Saints colours against his old team, Salford. 8, Tony Burke. 9, Bernard Dwyer. 10, Stuart Evans. 11, Paul Farber. 12, Roy Haggerty. 13, Paul Barton. Substitutes for Saints: 14, Phil Beavers, and 15, Sean Allen. The Salford team: number 1, Steve Gibson. 2, Tex Evans. 3, Keith Bentley. 4, Peter Williams. 5, Adrian Hadley. 6, Paul Shaw. 7, David Kearns. 8, Steve Herbert. 9, Mark Moran. 10, Mick Worrell. 11, Ian Gormley. 12, Ian Blease. 13, Mark Horrow. Substitutes for Salford: number 14, Ken Jones, and 15, Mick McTeague. Well, after the tossing up ceremony, centre field with today's referee, Mr. Allett, Salford are ready to kick off. The game's underway. Michael O'Connor gathers the ball, playing at full-back today. According to local, local and national press, he's asked to move up to the full-back position. He's not been getting his share of ball centre-wise, and he's not felt he's been blending in, so he's asked to move up to the full-back position so that he can link up with the back division and hopefully create the extra man there for the Saints back as we spread the ball out wide. Anyway, we're scrumming down. Salford feed on the Saints 25. Salford spread it quickly to the right. It's Paul Shaw, this manly standoff. On to Mark Horrow, New Zealander, but the ball comes out loose. I don't know whether the Saints have dropped on it, or it's still Salford ball. Salford still in possession. Ian Blease plays allowed to go on. Surely hint of a knock on there, but it's on now to Paul Shaw. Referee Allett urging the Saints to line out. Mark Moran takes it left. David Kearns spreading it left. Salford keep it going. The ball's loose again. Steve Gibson knocks it down. Saints couldn't capitalise on it. Well, Salford there, he didn't make any yardage there from that scrum heel. Darren Blower now to feed. Saints come up with the ball. Shane Cooper. Michael O'Connor in the line-up, onto David Tanner, but the ball's gone down. Well, must be very slippy out there. A lot of handling errors, but Salford in possession. Darren Blower and Bernard Dwyer in at the hooking role today, with injuries to ex-Salford captain Paul Groves. It's Kearns taking it left to Herbert. Quick hands. Keith Bentley trying to grub her through, but Saints come up with the ball. Michael O'Connor there on the far side. Looks like Stuart Evans from acting half-back, but Salford move up very quickly. Tony Burke pushes one off, but Salford, under the guidance of Kevin Ashcroft, pressing up very quickly. Ball back to Paul Loughlin. Hefty kick upfield, but well taken. Solid tackling right in front of us there from Les Quirk, Shane Cooper on Steve Gibson, but it's Tex Evans, this ex-Swinton wingman. Cooper kicks through, the ball touches the Salford man, but it's kept in field. Salford bring it down the blind side again. Evans and Cooper in very quickly. Solid tackling there from the Saints. Well, Saints penalised for offside. Referee Alec moving in field. Paul Shaw wants a quick tap. Play the ball, but I don't know whether they're going to elect to go for goal from this offside position. Number 4 now, Peter Williams, the ex-Orrell Rugby Union player. Finds touch. Midway between the Saints 25 and the try line. On to Steve Herbert, bursting through Herbert. But Saints penalised again, twice in quick succession. Referee Allett up there as Herbert was coming through. He beat the first line of defence, but he's taken down, which must be interpreted as a foul action. So it's Steve Herbert receiving treatment. Referee Allen towards Salford another penalty. Adrian Hadley, the Salford left wing, stepping up to try and convert it into points. Herbert back in the fray now. Had the rub down with the wet sponge. I would imagine anybody will get up quickly having a rub down with a wet sponge this weather. But it's Adrian Hadley. 15 to 20 yards out, about 10 yards to the right of the posts. Well, sliced it, but the ball goes dead. Well, he shouldn't miss those from that position, should he? But he misses it, so Saints are forced to drop out from the 25. Put Salford back in possession. Paul Loughlin there, centre field. Dropping out over to this right wing. Bentley, I think that is, taken down by Roy Haggerty and Paul Farber. Catterweath duo in the second row today for Saints. Tex Evans trying to go on his own from the acting half-back position. Mark Moran, this Salford hooker. On to Paul Shaw. Loses the ball, picked up by Paul Vorton, his teammate at Manly. The ball on to Stuart Evans. Kearns quickly in there, one of the tacklers. But Salford man laying prone on the deck over there. I think it's Paul Shaw. O'Connor there, linking up. Nearly burst through the line of defence there. You can see O'Connor's idea. He wants to link up with the back division. He can see when the play is needed. He can move up. The ball now with Shane Cooper. But Saints are in the Salford half and spreading it left. Bluer, loop movement with Vorton. Bluer gets the ball, quick hands, taken by Roy Haggerty. But takes him on Haggerty, slips a lovely ball out to Quirk, but he loses his feet. Must be terribly slippy out there on this Nosey Road turf. A lot of fog in the last night and the early hours of this morning. Must be a very heavy dew on the pitch. But Saints are still in possession. It's the last settle now. The ball with Cooper. Little grubber kick through, but I think it's David Kearns. Takes it down. It would have been the changeover if Cooper had been tackled. Elected to grubber through. On to Mick Waddle now. Playing in the number 10 jersey today. Was down at second row, but Ian Blease moving into the second row. Salford slip a nice ball out there. I think that's to Adrian Hadley. Chip kick forward, Hadley gathers it, but he's taken down by O'Connor. And Stuart Evans, I think it is, tidies up, but the ball's all on. Well, it's all a 2 knock-on. Surely the Salford man dribbled it forward, but referee Allett allows play to go on. Then penalises the Saints right in front of the sticks for offside. Well, such refereeing, it's inconsistent. Salford awarded a penalty. The ball went loose centre field. Saints knocked on and then Salford knocked on, but he let it go. It's Mick Waddle now. He's stepping up, prop forward for Salford. He's going to have a go for goal. Quite a good goal kicker in his own right, Waddle. Similar position to the last place where Hadley missed, but it's Waddle now stepping up. Yes, he makes no mistake, bangs it right between the sticks. So after 8 minutes play, Salford take an early 2-0 lead. Paul Loughlin kicks deep, taken by Mark Horrow, one of the Horrow brothers. Shane, well, I'm presuming the brothers, is the Shane Horrow that had a spell with Lee. Tex Evans coming through, met by Paul Farber and Bernard Dwyer. Salford move it quickly to the left, but try to change direction and bring it in field. The ball back to Waddle for the kick upfield. So much a pattern in this modern play, but O'Connor takes it well. Just taken down on the 25, manages to get up, but Mark Moran, one of the tacklers, quickly in there. Bernard Dwyer attacked in half-back onto Stuart Evans. Salford moving up very quickly, but referee Allett just doesn't seem to notice them moving up as quickly as he notices the Saints moving up. Saints still in possession. Cooper onto Roy Haggerty. Lovely ball from Haggerty onto Loughlin. Onto Les Quirk. Michael O'Connor's with him. Quirk going up the wing. Does well, Quirk. Keeps him fit. Well, hauled in. Burley. It's a toss-up whether he was in touch, but Gibson came over there with Paul Shaw. And number 12, Ian Blease. But it's adjudged to have been pushed into touch. So it's a scrum down just inside the Salford 25. Kearns to feed. Ball comes out Salford side. Evans goes in field. Super tackle there from Paul Martin. Salford quickly on the break. Young Paul Shaw, I think it is that time. Guesting over here with Salford. Quick hands onto Horrow. But solid tackling there. Darren Brewer comes in and meets him. Bernard Dwyer in support. Salford bringing it blindside again. Big prop forward, Herbert. Moran attacked in half-back onto Ian Blease. Solid tackling, but back to Moran. Loose ball there. Onto Bentley, the right centre for Salford. The man's knocked down on the ground. Farber lends his extra power into the tackle, and it's the last tackle for Salford. Gibson grubbing in for touch. Did well there, Gibson. On the sixth tackle he came up and jigged past one man and then grubbered for touch. He found touch on the Saints 25 over there on the main stand side. So it's going to be Darren Brewer to feed. When the referee gets to pack form to his liking, but Salford are penalised for an infringement at the scrum. So Saints with the first penalty of the afternoon. Loughlin finds touch just 5 yards short of the halfway line. Bernard Dwyer to restart. Stuart Evans is first man in. No, Tony Burke, I beg your pardon. It was. Here's Evans now. Coming through on the drive. Barton coming through on his left, but he just couldn't release Evans. But Saints making yardage. Well, offside. Horrow there. Referee Allen not being moved at all. Darren Brewer into space. Lovely ball up to Cooper. Inside to David Tanner. Couldn't release it to Mike Carrington on his right. Good play from the Saints. Good 25-yard upfield movement there. Barton. Long ball to Haggerty. Overlap on the left. Haggerty creates the gap. Inside to Loughlin. Inside to Paul Farber. Well, it's all on. Can Saints capitalise on the ball? Well, a knock-on rule. What's this man playing at? Salford must have come up with the ball, have they? I don't know. Bernard Dwyer's got the ball, so he's ruled a knock-on. Salford feed. Salford come up with the ball. Referee Allen's not happy with his scrum. Saints very unlucky there. Lovely ball handling skills from the Saints. Kearns to feed. Well, the ball comes out Salford side. Salford taking the scrums 3-1 at present. Gibson at acting half-back. Farber quickly in there. Good tackle from Farber. Dangerous character this Gibson. On to number 11 now, Ian Gormley. I think he had a spell with Widnes at one time, this Gormley. On to Horrow. Solid tackling there. Well, referee Allett looks as though he's doing his press-ups, doesn't he? But obviously he's penalised Saints for what he considers a high tackle by Stuart Evans. So Salford awarded the penalty. I think it was Peter Williams that time, another rugby union convert in the Salford ranks that kicked for touch. Well, solid tackle there from Evans. Forced his man back as number 10, Mick Waddle, came through at pace. Steve Herbert now, I think, for Salford. Mark Moran at dummy half. Well, it's all right, the ball was okay. On to Paul Shaw. He's the man you've got to watch. On to Mick Waddle. Salford spread it out over there on the far side. The ball's loose. Saints down on it. Mike Carrington it was, but after sloppy hands, Saints tidy up. It's Carrington again that tidied up. Flicked the ball onto Tony Burke. Receives a lot of attention there. Saints moving quickly to the left. Bluer. Lovely ball to Loughlin. Just couldn't release it there. Plenty of Salford attention. Tex Evans and Keith Bentley. But Saints moving it right now. As Cooper turns it in field. Onto Bernard Dwyer. Saints a little bunched here, but they elect to play it blindside onto Haggerty. He pushed over to touch. Well, referee right on the job there. Definitely bad refereeing in my opinion. The man was held, he couldn't make any progress. He was forced into touch. So it's a scrum down midway between the halfway and the Saints 25. Kearns to feed, and a better example of feeding the second row you'll not wish to see. Right in front of referee Allett. And no wonder there's an outcry for better refereeing, and referee Allett is the representative for the this area, this northwest area. But it's Salford still in possession, 20 yards from the Saints line. Bringing it to the right, Paul Shaw, loop movement with Kearns, back to Shaw now, giving the dummy, the ball out to Ian Blease, onto Loughlin and to Horrow, loose ball. Well, Bloomer went in for the ball, Tex Evans finally picks it up, referee Allen wipes the slate clean. Ian Blease now driving upfield. Saints should adopt the Salford tactics and bounce him into touch over here. Make no mistake with him, but it's Salford now. The Saints crowd getting behind him. Onto Mick Waddle. Solid tackle from Storyberg. And Roy Haggerty bangs his man down. Mark Moran at dummy half. Kearns and Shaw. Short ball there. Yes, onto number 11, Ian Gormley. Well, the ball going dead, obviously, off a Salford player to the game to restart with a tap from the Saints 25. The far side touch judge on reporting to referee Allett. Obviously, he doesn't like Paul Farber bringing to his attention that the far side touch judge was on. He's going to make his own decision, but he's bringing Farber out now. If he doesn't get a grip of this game, referee Allett is going to have serious trouble, I can tell you. He's brought Farber out over there with the official. He's going having a look at the player that's injured on the deck now. Looks as though he's reaching for his pocket, so anything can happen with this fella. But they showed him the yellow card. As far as I know, it's the yellow card. That's 10 minutes sin bin. Anyway, Saints in possession, restarting. Well, he's there again. All Salford offside here, not paying a grain of attention, certainly incurring the wrath of the Saints faithful. Bernard Dwyer at dummy half, going on his own, into space. Dwyer, good move there from Bernard Dwyer. Blew it on his left, he couldn't release it, but it's Saints on the attack. Roy Haggerty now, bustling up centre field, brought down on the 25, plays the ball to Bluer. Evans on the charge, pushes Worrell off. 20 yards now from the Salford line. Saints down to 12 men. Bluer looking for space, onto Cooper, but the ball ruled a knock-on. I think it touched the Salford man, and then came back to Cooper, but the referee didn't see it. He's ordered a scrum. Centre field, 20 yards from the Salford line. Well, obviously they're not on the right blade of grass for referee Allard. As I say, if he doesn't get control of this game, he's going to have problems. Salford tidying up on the scrums by 4-1 at present. Now that makes it 5-1. Gibson in the line. Solid tackling there from the Saints at the second attempt. Just halfway through this first half now, Salford still with a slender 2-0 lead. Mark Moran feeds it inside to Shaw, spreads it to the left again. Solid tackling, Saints come up with the ball. The ball's wrenched out of the man's hands. Tony Burke comes up with it. Bernard Dwyer now. Cooper. Unlucky there, Shane Cooper. He plays it to Roy Haggerty. Haggerty drives forward, looking for support. Haggerty's taken down by Ian Gormley, one of the tattlers there, and Herbert the other, I think. Cooper again, Luke movement with Bluer, but Bluer feeds onto Vortin. The ball comes back, it's all on. Oh, what a decision! What's the man playing at? It's one reel for one and one for another. Salford man knocked the ball forward. Saints came up with it, but he ruled the knock-on as the infringement. So it's scrum down just outside the Salford 25. David Kearns to feed. Never retired. The ball came out the centre of the tunnel, but it's Salford driving upfield. Well, he went down there, Peter Williams, but the ball loose again. Somebody being brought out in the tackle. Stuart Evans and Captain Shane Cooper. Obviously the penalty's going to go Salford way. Well, no need to tell you about that anyway. It's Peter Williams for Salford. Certainly a tough game today for the Saints. Saints in second position, Salford in fifth, but only 1 point separating them. Saints with 11 points, Salford with 10 in the league table. Salford moving upfield, the ball's loose. Bernard Dwyer comes up with it again. Tremendous forager for this ball, Dwyer. He'll go in and have a go at getting this ball every time for the Saints. Certainly a good utility forward, Bernard Dwyer, stepping in at the hooking role today. Well, it's a toss-up whether Salford have been onside at all during this first 22 minutes of this match. But referee Allard is not paying a grain of attention. Shane Cooper kicks through. O'Connor tries to kick on. The ball's loose. All on now. Paul Loughlin gathers. The tackle count's wiped off. The Saints crowd cry hallelujah. And Saints with another 5 tackles to make it count now. Bernard Dwyer. The Saints crowd asking referee Allen to get the Salford side onside, but it's Loughlin driving up centre field. Brought down less than 10 yards short of the Salford 25. Cooper left to Bluer, lofted past to Quirk. Couldn't gather it. Tex Evans comes in quickly. Salford back in possession. Horrow now, loose forward for Salford. Brought down by Evans and Les Quirk, just short of the halfway line. Mark Moran attacked in half-back. Saints still down to 12 men, with Paul Farber having 10 minutes in the sin bin. But it's Mick Worrell in possession. Peter Williams acting half-back, he tries to chip through. Mike Carrington takes it well, just tries to get up, but Williams keeps hold of him. But Saints back in possession, they're in their own 25. Michael O'Connor at dummy half onto Tony Burke. Drives upfield, looking to release the ball there, but he can't do so. Bernard Dwyer onto Stuart Evans, drives upfield, tremendous 10-15 yard burst from this ex-Neath Rugby Union prop forward Stuart Evans. Shane Cooper, Darren Bluer, Haggerty there. He'll take him on, Haggerty takes 2 and 3 players, tries to release the ball there. Bluer coming blindside, onto Les Quirk, coming field, but Ian Blease and Keith Bentley there with a rather aggressive tackle as Bluer with a crossfield kick. Taken by Adrian Hadley, this ex-Cardiff Rugby Union wingman. Well, that's the idea. If it's good enough for Salford, it's good enough for us. The referee Allens is making sure the tackle is completed. Players are seem held in the tackle, but he's waiting till it's actually completed. It happened over here as Haggerty got forced into touch and Les Quirk. But over there it was Adrian Hadley this time. He got forced in, so it's a Saints feed. Bluer comes round with the ball. Kearns very quickly round. Cooper onto O'Connor, linking up in the back division. Gets the ball out to David Tanner. Into space, Tanner. O'Connor inside. Quirk on his outside, but the tackle's completed by Gibson. Saints back on the attack. O'Connor trying to go on his own from acting half-back position. Paul Vaulting now. Releases the ball to Tony Burke, gets it in the second by Burke, charging upfield, Quirk on the inside. He couldn't release, what a run from Tony Burke. Saints have got to make it count now. Dwyer feeds it inside to Cooper. The creator, Bluer, quick hands onto Haggerty. Yes, overlap on the right, Tanner. Couldn't release it to Carrington, but it's Saints putting the pressure on. Down to 12 men in the Salford 25 now. Got to make it count. Bluer tries to chip through, but it's Paul Shaw comes up with the ball. Roy Haggerty taps his ankles, brings him down. Wiry character this Shaw, you've got to watch him. He had a really good game in the Lancashire Cup final when Salford played Wigan here at Nosey Road. So he's certainly got to be watched today. I'm sure Michael O'Connor and Paul Barton know how he can play, but it's Horrow on the burst. O'Connor brings him down, 10 yards from the Saints 25. Good burst there from Mark Horrow. Came through on a short ball, but it's Salford bringing it right. Onto Shaw, you've got to get in there and get this man down. Onto Kearns, left to Worrell. Salford driving upfield. Mark Moran attacked in half-back for Salford. Right to Kearns. Onto Bentley. Speedy wingman who has played in the centre position today. Onto Gibson. O'Connor brings him down. It's the sixth tackle for Salford. They're about 5 yards from the Saints line. Blease onto Evans. Can't stretch forward. The first change over of the match. And 27 minutes of the first half gone. Still 2 points to nil in Salford's favour. But it's Saints in possession. Salford moving up very quickly again. Not being brought back by referee Allett. Bernard Dwyer into space, tries to drive upfield. Waddle brings him down. Quick hand from Saints. Evans moves up again, tries to clear the ranks. Making ground. Farber now back on field. Saints back to a full complement. Haggerty goes crossfield. Releases the ball to Barton. Takes it right to Tanner. Onto Carrington, does well. But quickly in is Adrian Hadley on the far side. Farber now back in the action. 10-yard run upfield from Farber. Mike Carrington now attacking half-back for the Saints. Saints bring it left. David Tanner, kick upfield. Gibson has to turn round, gives Saints chance to come up. Gibson picks it up cleanly, 10 yards from his own line. Drives up centre field. Tanner in there at the tackle with Les Quirk, I think it is, that had come in centre field. Mark Moran. Salford bring it to the right, short ball to Evans. Breaks through the first line, onto Keith Bentley. O'Connor takes it, solid tackle from O'Connor. Tremendous tackle. Shook him in his boots there. Moran. Salford still in possession, take it left. Kearns inside to Shaw. This Aussie half-back still going through. 20 yards from the Saints line now. Notice how referee Allen's urging the Saints to get onside. It's a pity he doesn't notice how the Salford side are lining up, moving up very quickly. Horrow flicks it out to Kearns. Salford still in possession. On to Bentley. On to Tex Evans. Driving upfield, looking for support. On to Shaw. But Haggerty, Super Haggerty comes back there. Intercepts the ball. All action, Haggerty's all over the field. He came back there as the ball was coming to Shaw and jumped up, intercepted that ball. So it's Saints back in possession. Bernard Dwyer, 10 yards from his own line. Evans at dummy half, on to Paul Farber. Just about 10 minutes of this first half remaining, still 2 points to nil. That 8-minute Waddle penalty goal. But Saints lose the ball, Waddle comes in, drops on it. So Salford back on the attack in the Saints 25. Sloppy handling there from the Saints. Moran tries to give the dummy, flicks it up to Kearns. Takes it over to the left. Peter Williams, I think that is, finally brought to ground. Just 10 yards from the Saints line. Salford bringing it right. Kearns again. Inside to Herbert. Flicks it out to the left to Gormley. Takes it over left again. Salford still in possession. Driving towards the Saints line, just 5 yards now. On to Shaw, Paul Shaw. Extra man here, Gibson linking up well, forward pass. But the man knocks on. Farber keeps it in field, goes well Farber. Gets up, drives upfield. Good play there from Farber. The pass from Gibson was forward, but the Salford man couldn't take the ball. Quirk now. Unlucky there, Les Quirk. He tried to take them on. He had a diagonal run, tried to drive forward. Referee Allen unmoved there by Salford holding Les Quirk down. But Saints are making yardage, they're moving upfield. On to Stuart Temwell. Saints lost the ball again, hold on. Well, he's let it go this time. Shane Cooper back in possession. Considering Saints knocked on, Salford didn't capitalise on it, and the ball came back to the Saints. The last time that occurred, referee Allen gave a penalty, gave a scrum, I think it was, for the knock-on, but it's Saints. Now keep it moving. Bernard Dwyer couldn't release it there. Bentley coming in for the interception. Bluer from acting half-back, bringing it blindside, looking for space, on to Les Quirk, going infield. Horrow brings him down with Bentley coming back, but it's Saints now. Bluer, Cooper, onto O'Connor, linking up. O'Connor breaks through, onto Tanner. To Mike Carrington, he comes inside. Had a good game in midweek. Mike Carrington for the Saints in the British Coal Nines. O'Connor chips through. The ball going into touch. So it's going to be a scrum down. Must have got it on the full. I don't know whether that is the sixth tackle or what. Yeah, it must have been the sixth tackle as O'Connor chipped through. Went into touch on the full, so the changeover is ruled. Mark Moran plays the ball. Salford back in possession. Just a couple of yards short of the halfway line. Moran again, on to Kearns. Herbert, I think that is, driving forward. Vortin and Haggerty bounce him down there. Certainly a seesaw game, a good game. Well, referee Allen prancing in. On to Keith Bentley. Into space, you don't give this lad a chance. He's a speedy character. Loughlin brings him down. Moran takes it left to Kearns, on to Paul Shaw. Short ball again, but to Horrow. The ball's released. Back to Paul Shaw. Gibson now linking up. Long striding Aussie, this Gibson. Onto Bentley. Inside to Tex Evans, but he drops it. Knock on there. Just 10 yards short of the Saints 25 line. So scrum down with the Saints speed. Just 7 minutes of time remaining in this first half. Darren Blewer to feed the scrum. Scrum finally packed. Ball comes out Saints side. Cooper and Blewer create space on the right. O'Connor linking up. Trying to go through. Still going, Michael O'Connor. Well, Salford with all possession from the scrum. They've taken 7 scrums to Saints 3. I make it. All the possession and nothing, only a penalty goal to show. Paul Loughlin, centre field, stretching those legs. Can he outpace Gibson? Oh, unlucky. Shea Cooper coming up, but Gibson just brought him down. Saints on the attack now. Palmer flicks it up to Cooper. He's got to take it in field. Cooper again takes up the running inside to Paul Martin. This Australian and Manly loose forward. Cooper again, the instigator, onto Blewer, inside to Haggerty. Good score! Inside to Cooper. Cooper's over! Brilliant work there! Cooper started it up, then finished it up, and Saints get the first try of the match. Cooper goes over his 4th try of the season. Brilliant rugby there from the Saints. They've showed the touches early on, but Salford, as I've just said, have had all the ball. But Cooper started it off, took it over there to the right. Roy Haggerty there, instrumental, drove towards the line. I thought Haggerty was going to score, but Cooper there loomed on his left. Haggerty slipped a lovely ball to Cooper. He just dove over, and that puts Saints in the lead by 4 points to 2. Surely just a formality now for Paul Loughlin. 10 yards out, right in front of the stick, centre field. Just composing himself. There it goes, right between the sticks. Loughlin lofts it over. That's his 26th goal for the Saints this season. He's also kicked one for Lancashire versus Yorkshire earlier on in the season. So just 5 minutes now before the half-time interval, and certainly what a time to score. Certainly Saints have put it together. Salford have put plenty of pressure on the Saints. The Saints have held out, and one of the rare occasions we've been up in the Salford 25, and Saints made it count. Well, some rather enthusiastic tackling over there onto Mike Carrington. Stuart Evans driving upfield. Saints making yardage at every tackle. O'Connor looking for the gaps. O'Connor flicks it inside to Bernard Dwyer. Into space, Bernard Dwyer. Certainly having a good game in the loose as Bernard Dwyer this afternoon. Darren Blewer, Cooper, short ball to Haggerty, lurking on the left. Inside to Tanner, but Shaw scoops it up. Unlucky there. Haggerty looking there to penetrate the Salford defence. Bentley over there on the left, lofted ball out to Adrian Handley. With Salford back on the attack, 10 yards from the Saints line. Lofted pass to Shaw. You've got to get in and get this man at the first attempt. Bobbing and weaving this Shaw, this Manly halfback. Onto Blees. Yes. Strode through with ease there, did Blees. And just had to outstretch, touchdown. Put Salford back on level terms. Well, after Saints coming back from that 2 points deficit, just scoring a couple of minutes ago, Salford hit back very quickly, and Blees goes over for a try. So Salford hitting back very quickly there. Didn't look anything on the cards. It's read it right to number 12, Blees. But he strode through. He threw some feeble tackling and his power took him over. So it's Worrell now, hoping to convert this Blease try, which would put Salford back in the lead by the 2 points. Similar position from his penalty conversion. Yes, he doesn't make any mistake with it. So Worrell converts the Blease try, and Salford are back in the lead by 8 points to 6. Well, after soaking up tremendous pressure from Salford, who have had all possession from the scrum, a lot of possession in the Saints 25, and then we go and let a soft try in like that. Well, that ball going dead off Tex Evans, so it's going to be a line drop out. Salford forced to drop out from between their own sticks. I think the ball may have gone dead on the full. I don't know whether he actually bounced in field. I was just watching in the in-goal area. So it puts Saints back on the attack from this dropout. Just a couple of minutes before half-time, so Saints will have to drive upfield. Bolton drives upfield into the Salford 25. Bluer on to Michael O'Connor. Unlucky there, the gap was there, an outstretched hand just brought him down. Dwyer inside to Haggerty, into space, Haggerty looking for support, on to Evans. Yard shot, 2-yard shot to the line. Saints on the attack, have to spread it to the right. Salford very slack on the right there. Moving quickly, quick hands is essential. Michael O'Connor gives the dummy, pulls back in field, can he go over? Must be just a foot or two short there. Can't get up and play the ball, but referee Hallett unmoved. Good hands there from Darren Bluer. Well, surely have a go for drop goal, will we? Or is it going to be over? Well, don't tell me. A minute to go before half-time, and Saints get a penalty for Salford being offside. Cooper taps it quickly, plays it to the right. Quick hands from Saints, O'Connor again. Well, I made that only the second penalty the Saints have had in this half. Cooper again, Haggerty, quick hands onto Barber, steaming through, yes! Barber goes over for a try! Puts the Saints back in the lead, right on the half-time hooter! And Paul Barber going through there for his third try of the season with the Saints. Salford being penalised for the first time for lying up offside, and not before time, may I hasten to add. Shane Cooper quickly over here to the popular side. Quick tap, he played it over to the right. Then the ball came back to the left. Haggerty made the gap, spread it left to Paul Farber, coming through at pace, and there was no stopping Farber. Went over 10 yards to the left of the sticks. Put Saints into a 10 points to 8 lead now, and Paul Loughlin, yes, just brings it in to the left of the right hand upright, so that puts Saints back into the lead now by 12 points to 8, and there's the half-time hooter. Well, as I said, Paul were going over right on half-time. Certainly what a time to score, and all the action coming in the last 6 minutes of this first half. Worrell opened it up with an 8-minute penalty goal after I think it was Peter Williams had had an earlier attempt from a similar position, which he missed. Then Worrell came in, as I said, in the 8th minute, opened the scoring, 2 points to 0 from Salford. Then it was up and down, Saints being depleted down to 12 men in the 18th minute of the first half, when Paul Farber was given 10 minutes sin bin by referee Hallett. Then in the 34th minute, after Roy Haggerty brought through, Cooper finished off. Goal by Loughlin, that put Saints in the lead, 6 points to 2. Salford hit back immediately, and in the 37th minute, Ian Blease went over for a try, converted by Worrell. 8 points to 6 in Salford's favour after some feeble tackling by the Saints. Then right on the 40th minute, Haggerty again lifted the ball to the left of Farber. He dove over, converted by Loughlin. So it's half-time, 12 points to 8 for the Saints. team in the first half, and there's none for the Saints at half-time. Just can't make out on the Salford side, as far as I can see, there's not. Certainly a great game. Well, as Salford was beaten finalists in the Lancashire Cup final, Steve Gibson, the Aussie full-back, was suspended, and he couldn't take part. Certainly could have put a burden on the match. The Pie Eaters won by 22 points to 17. Just that 5-point gap, and I believe Salford missed about 5 goals. Just couldn't get it right on the day. Very unlucky. But anyway, it's going to be hard today, and Saints are in the lead, 12 points to 8. Paul Loughlin gets the second half going. Gibson there bursting through. On to Shaw, but Brewer brought him down. Well, he'll have to mind he picks his equity card up when he gets up. But Darren Brewer there chasing him. Gibson locked the ball out, and Darren Brewer just perhaps a second prematurely brings him to ground. So Paul Shaw receiving treatment there, centre field. I'm sure he won't be wanting to come off. As I was just saying about Salford, just unlucky to the Pie Eaters, just getting beat by 5 points. Saints have been given a penalty against them there for that tackle by Darren Brewer. He's up alive and kicking now, Paul Shaw. Adrian Hadley there on the left wing for Salford. Salford's most expensive buy, £100,000 from Cardiff Rugby Union. Well, Peter Williams, another convert from the local Orwell Rugby Union club. Finds touch, just short of the Saints 25, puts Salford back on the attack. Mark Moran brings it left. Ian Blease, I think that is. Second row forward for Salford, but it's Moran. It's the hooker that was keeping Paul Groves out. And oh, there's Ian Blease. I don't think that was centre field, whether it was a Worrell or what, but anyway, there's Kearns onto Mick Worrell. 15 yards from the Saints try line now. Salford with early pressure in this second half. Loop movement there, Moran gets it again, spreads it right to Shaw. Well, he's down again. Kearns attacked in half-back. On to Gibson. Tries to chip through, but Paul Loughlin takes it coolly and calmly. Gibson comes up, completes the tackle up to, oh, beg your pardon, Moran. He's got headgear on as well. Completed the tackle. It's Moran and Horrow. Coming on Tony Burke, but it's back in possession. Stuart Evans driving upfield. Evans, quick play of the ball. Dwyer takes it left. Brewer onto Cooper. Lofty pass there, taken by Michael O'Connor, linking up. Still stood in the tackle, O'Connor looking for support, but finally brought down there by Tex Evans. Brewer onto Farber. Farber, the second try scorer for the Saints. 6 tackle now. Haggerty, Grubbers for touch, but well taken there. I think that's Bentley. Comes crossfield. Cooper chases him. Tony Burke narrows the angle down, but he comes inside to Peter Williams. David Tanner and Tony Burke. Tony Burke bounce him down. Plays it to his centre as Williams. No way through for him. Paul Vortin comes in, completes the tackle. Worrell onto Herbert. Evans in with a shoulder charge, but Herbert bounces off, but still keeps going. Finally completed by Farber and Bernard Dwyer. Kearns locked it past to the right. Injured party over there for Salford on the far right. It's Tex Evans receiving treatment, but Saints have got the ball. Darren Brewer it was. Stuart Evans driving upfield. The ball's loose. I think Saints have got back on it. Yes, it's gone back. Bernard Dwyer driving upfield. Quick play there from the Saints. Salford down to 12 men without an injury to Tex Evans. Saints have to make it count. Haggerty. Well, crossing being ruled. I don't know how he ruled that, but Saints are penalised. So that takes the pressure off Salford. Takes pressure off Salford for a minute there as the referee goes over. A stopped play while treatment is being given to Tex Evans. I think they're calling for a stretcher. Stretcher's being brought round on the far side by the St John's ambulance. He's been bodily lifted by the Salford physios over there to the touchline at the main stand side, and the substitute Ken Jones comes on now to replace Tex Evans. So Peter Williams with the extra yardage for the penalty, which has just been awarded to Salford for crossing. Moran plays it on to Mick Worrell. Solid tackle there from Tony Burke, brings him to ground. Looks it's getting a little misty down here on the Nosey Road pitch. Quite bright sunlight before the start, and then suddenly went dull. Shaw. Bobbing and weaving, looking to flick the ball out. I think it is to Bentley. He's a wily character, this Shaw. You've got to get in there and bang him down at the first attempt. Well, knock on. Excuse me, a knock on being ruled there. It's going to be a scrum down just outside the Saints 25 with a Saints feed. Salford cleaning up on the scrums by 6-3 in the first half. All possession and that just couldn't capitalise on it. But Saints come up with the ball. First scrum of the second half. On to Tanner. As half-back, Cooper onto Paul Vaultin, running hard, but he loses the ball, picked up by Mark Horrow. On to Steve Herbert. Big prop forward for Salford. I think he had a spell with the Barrow outfit. But Salford, Ian Blease flicks it out left to Ian Gormley. Does a pirouette and drives upfield. Still going Gormley, but Farber brings him down. Completes the tattle. Shaw, dummy half. Goes on his own from acting half-back. Ducks under the tattle, but Vaultin has him. Ex-teammate, well, I suppose he still is a teammate back in Australia. Paul Vaultin. Worrell on to Kearns. Little chip kick through. Taken comfortably by Loughlin. Well, he surely should have given that ball first time to Les Quirk as the substitute Ken Jones was coming in. Cooper onto Dwyer, flicks it back to Cooper, inside to Farber, driving upfield Farber. Cooper again, setting the Saints on the path. Haggerty looking to create the gap. Straight runner Haggerty. Cooper takes up the running. Inside to Paul Vaultin. Burst through does Paul Vaultin, looking for support. Equally good Salford tackling, brings him down. Dwyer at dummy half, Bluer and Cooper. Oh, unlucky there. Very unlucky. He was losing his footing, Darren Bluer. Nothing in that tackle at all. But Cooper on the sixth tackle. Well, taken off the ball, but unmoved there is referee Allett. Gibson flicks it out to Kearns. Salford keep the ball moving, centre field. Never even looked there, did referee Allett, as Shane Cooper quite noticeably obstructed. Ian Blease brought down by Dwyer, well, standing all over Dwyer, he plays it to himself. Carrington and Tanner in the tackle. Shaw and Kearns work the loop movement. Ball out now to Bentley. Salford turning round, getting a little bunched. Good tackle there from David Tanner, but Salford keep it moving. Mid-waddle, taken down by Stuart Evans, the last tackle for Salford. Adrian Hadley with like an up and under. Let Salford have it. Saints have only got to tackle him, but Haggerty comes up with the ball. Shane Cooper onto Farmer. Quick hands there, really needed. The ball's loose. Did he touch his Salford man? No, not ruled so by the referee. Farmer now drives upfield. Tremendous. Well, Farmer there coming through, he beaten the man. Obviously a foul tackle. Farmer had beaten the man, he came up. And the referee penalised the Saints when there was an attacking run. Well, Paul Shaw, this lively standoff, being substituted there, Mick Maxey coming on, so let's hope Saints can capitalise a bit more centre field. They were awarded the penalty, they kicked upfield, foul touch, 20 foul, the Salford 25, and streaking up. Quick hands now, Tony Burke, from a standing start, pushes one up, driving upfield. Saints now just 5 yards from the Salford line. Dwyer going from acting half-back, can he stretch over? Inches short, Bernard Dwyer. Saints have to spread it to the left now. Referee Allenton have to ensure that Salford have come up with the ball. Obviously taken from Bernard Dwyer in his efforts to go over. Farmer. Good play from Farmer, he saw the urgency. Farmer come up with the ball, Farmer tried to take him in the end goal earlier, but it's Gibson. Farmer in the tackle again, tremendous stint of tackling. Farmer. Well, Gibson going down. Obviously time wasted while Saints are putting the pressure on and holding Salford just 5 yards from their own line. The referee stops. Well, he stopped the clock. The man hasn't received any treatment and he lets it go again. Certainly inconsistent refereeing. Well, what's he going to give this time? A knock on, I think he's given. Scrum is going to be fouled just 10 yards inside the Salford 25. It's going to be Darren Blue to feed. Saints have got to come up with this ball and capitalise on it. Spread it out quickly to the Saints speedy backs. Roy Haggerty comes up with the ball. Dwyer attacked it half-back. On to Evans, driving upfield. Tremendous run from Evans. Certainly taking the sting onto this Salford tackling. Bolton, striding upfield. 5 yards short now of the Salford line. Dwyer again. Inside to Coop, to Blower. Back to Haggerty. Still going Haggerty. Straightens up and drives up centre field, right in front of the sticks. Salford being urged back, but referee's just looked to his left and there's a man offside, but he ignores it this time. Farmer just hesitates a little there as Paul Farmer. The sixth tackle now. Cooper tries to dribble through. The ball's loose. Is it all on? No. Referee comes Saints side. So Salford have the ball. Nick McTeague. Salford use both the substitutes now with injuries to Tex Evans and Paul Farmer. Saints still with two fresh men on the bench. Phil Beavers and Sean Allen, but Salford in possession. Mark Moran being urged to get up and play the ball. Solid tackle there, super tackle there from David Tanner. David Kearns going cross field. Saints moving up very quickly, forcing it back over his own line. Solid tackling from the Saints. That's gonna, well, has he wanted to try? I don't know the Saints have come up with the ball. Shane Cooper. Kino wanted to try. Well, Shane Cooper, Salford being in possession. Saints tackling the man, driving it back over his line. Cooper must have come up with that ball. The touchdown put Saints further in front. Now by 16 points to 8. Shane Cooper there with his second of the afternoon. His fifth of the season. Saints leading try scorer now, Shane Cooper, with 5 touchdowns. Paul Loughlin lining up, just 10 yards out, no problem for Loughlin. Yes, bongs it over. So brilliant teamwork from the Saints there. From Salford in an attacking position, even though they was in their own 25, they had the ball, and they took Salford, drove them back over their own line, and Cooper came up with the ball and scored. So Loughlin converts that second Cooper try. The score now 18 points to 8 for the Saints. And just a quarter of an hour of this second half gone. Bernard Dwyer from acting half-back. Always looking for the gap, Dwyer. Half a gap there and he'll be through it. The ball back to Loughlin for the kick-up field. Obviously want to contain Salford in their own half. Super kick from Loughlin. Will it run? Well, just kept in field by Steve Gibson. Let's work over on the far side. Makes no mistake, bounds him down on the first attempt. Well, referee Hallett penalises the Saints for moving up in an offside position and to play the ball. Not surprising, is it? But there it goes. Salford now fine touch just inside the Saints half. Kearns it is to play the ball. Obviously a planned move from Salford here. Horrell going over to the right. Tries to come through on this reverse pass situation. But it's Salford still in possession. Solid tackling there. Paul Barton in with the shoulder on Steve Herbert. He got up, he didn't know which way he was playing then. Super tackle there from Barton. Matt Teague now taken down by Farber and Haggerty. Moran takes it to the right now. On to Bentley. Trying to create space. Horrell there. Flicks it up to substitute Ken Jones playing on the far right. I think it was Jones that scored 2 tries when Salford inflicted that third round cup defeat at the Willows by 22-18. Well, the ball back with Saints now. Sloppy handling there from Salford. Tried one pass too many. Haggerty came up with it. Plays it to himself. He is in space, Haggerty. Drives down this popular side touchline. Bernard Dwyer and dummy half. Salford move up very quickly. Bluer onto Cooper. Quick hands. Michael O'Connor linking up. Looking for space. O'Connor. Unlucky there. Tackled by Jones as O'Connor was being tackled. Centre field. Bluer feet onto Barton. I think it is. Loughlin. Grubbers for touch. Will it run this time? No, it's going to be kept in field by Gibson. As Adrian Hadley goes in field. Hadley in possession now. Up this popular side touchline. Goes in towards centre field. No way through for him here. Saints defence closing up very quickly. Kearns onto Moran. Short ball there. Well, Tony Burke intercepted that ball. Turn round. Tremendous turn of pace from Burke. Bluer. Left to Cooper, back to Bluer. On to Michael O'Connor. Obviously, Darren Bluer wants to do well against his own teammates. Inside now. Paul Barton, what a turn of speed from this international partner. Saints putting the pressure on now. 15 yards from the Salford line. Cooper inside to Roy Haggerty. Flicks it up to Bluer, who kicked it forward and Salford pick it up. I think it's Peter Williams driving upfield. O'Connor coming across. He beats O'Connor, but Carrington has him. Just wrong-footed Michael O'Connor up to Carrington. Lets him up to play the ball. Well, the ball's loose. Hold on. Up to Ian Blease. Well, brought down short, very unlucky there. Saints back in possession, but they lost it again. And Salford only about 5 yards short of the Saints line. Ian Gormley trying to dive in, but he's held out short. Trying to go through the Salford now, spread it to the right. Kearns, Moran. Obstruction. Well, knock on. And only rightly so. A knock on from Ken Jones. Blatant obstruction, centre field. And referee Allen chose to ignore it on yet another occasion. But justice is done, and Jones knocks on the right wing for Salford. And a scrum down is going to be formed just 5 yards inside the Saints 25. It's going to be Saints feed, Darren Blue is a feed. Saints come up with the ball now, onto this Quirk, into space, good running chance from Quirk. Can he feed on? Yes! Oh, Carrington can't take it in the... Well, the knock-on being rude, but very unlucky there, and still very slippy over here. That's the popular side touchline. But Les Quirk did well there, he could see the urgency, he wanted to get the ball going. He fed it out to Mike Carrington, but there was a knock-on. And so a scrum down being formed midway between the Saints 25 and the halfway line. Salford feed, Salford come up with the ball. Well, look, very lax centre field to Salford. Just halfway through the second half now, just 20 minutes of the game remaining. Lofted ball on to Adrian Hadley. Was round Carrington. Oh, super ankle tap from Carrington. Certainly a try-saving ankle tap from Mike Carrington there. Shane Horrow, Mark Horrow, beg your pardon. Salford moving it right. Bentley looking for the gap. Thought he created the space, but Saints closed down very quickly as the mist moves in now here at Nosey Road. Well, Matt Teague impeded Shane Cooper in his efforts to get the ball, but Salford still driving up, trailing by 18 points to 8. Moran, well, yes, Quirk comes up with the ball, still allowed to run, drives upfield, good strong running wingman this Les Quirk. Came to Saints from Barrow early last season. Tony Burke still going, releases the ball to Bernard Dwyer. Roy Haggerty now, he torment this Salford defence. Good 10-15 yard burst from international second row packman Roy Haggerty there. Bluer is acting half back, sets the Saints over to the left. Quirk again, comes in field, up to Michael O'Connor. They're still going O'Connor. Still stood up, bringing it over to the right now. Here's the dummy. On to Lachlan, out to David Tanner. Still going in field, hits the ball to Evans, on to Dwyer. Saints Dwyer driving forward, up to Palmer. Is he? Yes, Cooper again. Oh, just... Well, Cooper being penalised. Obviously sent something to referee Allen. That's a hell of a 10 yards in Broughton back. Obviously Cooper saying something to the referee. Or somebody saying something to the referee. But tremendous ball athletic skills from the Saints there. Saints very unlucky not to get on the score sheet yet again. But Salford have a little respite. Come up with a penalty. Bottom touch on their own 25. Very unlucky there. Superb ball handling skills from the Saints. Kearns inside to Mark Horrow. The ball's loose. Unlucky there. Tony Burke hadn't noticed the ball was loose. It just came out to the side. But a knock-on being indicated, so it's going to be a Saints feed. 10 yards outside the Salford 25. Well, Darren Blue is a feed, just 10 yards outside the 25. Saints come up with the ball, Cooper and Bluer. On to Michael O'Connor, racing down that main stand side. But he tried to release the ball inside. Well, Salford have lost the ball, Saints back in possession. Paul balls it, streaking through, driving to the line. Brown 5 yards short. Saints now have to capitalise on this. Paul Palmer, Sean Martin Terror. going over there for his third try of the season with the Saints. Saints forced to make a substitution with Phil Beavers coming on to replace Mike Carrington. I don't think he wants to come off Mike Carrington, but receiving the cheers of the Saints faithful. Tremendous cheer from this popular side, and no doubt all around the ground. As Loughlin there, no mistake with Loughlin, pops it over, extends Saints lead now to 24 points to 8. So Phil Beavers takes the field, just coming on to replace Mike Carrington. Salford kick-off. Roy Haggerty stops it with his foot, picks it up, drives down this popular side. Well, looks like a bit of a head tackle there from Steve Herbert. Evans barging through. Herbert tries to take him into touch. Remonstrating with the touch judge. Tony Burke, as Salford tried to wrench the ball from his hands. Three-man tackle there. Saints very quickly to the left. Palmer running onto that ball at full pace, Paul Palmer, but Kearns is one of the tattlers in there. Finally allowed to play the ball. Darren Bluer onto Cooper, inside to Tony Burke. 24 points to 8. Saints in a commanding position. Just 13 minutes of the game remaining. The ball back to Paul Loughlin. Hefty kick upfield. Gibson gets it. Shane Cooper comes up to complete the... well, he doesn't complete the tackle, but Gibson sets off on a run. He's brought down 10 yards short of the halfway line. Mick McTeague just penetrating the Saints half. Phil Beavers taking up his position at his normal full-back role. I would imagine Michael O'Connor. Well, Michael O'Connor here is playing right centre. David Tanner moving onto the wing. But Salford in possession. Mark Horrow. Kearns attacked in half-back. Takes it to right to Bentley. Into space. McTeague on his left. Super tackle from Beavers. That's what he's paid for Phil Beavers. Just had a little bit of injury problems. Salford hoist the ball. Shane Cooper takes it, no problem. Only a couple of yards from his own line. But Saints in possession. David Tanner coming away from the acting half-back position, taken down by Mick Worrell. Tremendous team performance from the Saints today. Shane Cooper, he had a blinder, must be in the running for the man of the match award. Scored 2 tries and so nearly had a third just a few minutes ago. Well, Salford containing the Saints in their own 25. It's the 6th tackle now. The ball back to Darren Bluer. A crossfield grubber. Looks though Ken Jones is going to take it okay. Tries to take Les Quirk on the outside. Quirk drags it unceremoniously and bounces him into touch. That's the way to treat him. Elder made no mistake and bang him into touch. So Saints trying to make another substitution now while the scrum is formed over on the far side. Roy Haggerty being substituted by Sean Allen. And the referee not allowing the substitution to take place at present, but Roy Haggerty certainly had a great game this afternoon for the Saints. Also a contender for the man of the match. He's certainly been in the thick of things. Bluer breaks through from the base of the scrum. Oh, well, I should think so too. I wanted to tell you about that. I'm sure it was Moran going in there with a terrible head tackle on Les Quirk. But the substitutions are out to take place now. Roy Haggerty coming after tremendous cheers all around this ground. Saints get the penalty, they make extra yardage And fine touch 10 yards from the Salford 25. It's getting rather misty out here at Nosey Road. I'm sure it will not spoil the excitement of this game. Saints leading by 24 points to 8. Tremendous team display from Saints after a couple of very drab performances. Michael O'Connor. Sean Allen there. Inside ball to Lachlan. Lachlan straight in. Yes! Brilliant teamwork from Saints. Definition is stand. Lachlan there, striding through, coming through at pace. Up to a lovely shot ball. There's no radio stop Lachlan. 6'2", about 14 and a half stone. And he certainly puts another nail in the Salford coffin. It's second in the league table before today's match. As I said, they had 11 points. Salford were fifth with 10 points, so it shows you the terrific competition up there at the top of the Stones Bitter league table. Saints having played one more game than Salford. Saints have played 8. Salford only played 7. But they both with an extra game on today as Lachlan steps up, converts his own try, no problem. That makes the score now 30 points to 8. Tremendous performance here from the Saints as they're getting it together after 2 dismal performances really against Oldham. We didn't play all that well against Oldham, but we came away with a 26-22 win. And then the week before here at Nosey Road, the last time we were here, going down by 20 points to 9 against Hull. But Saints have certainly put it together today. Tremendous team performance. Tried to release the ball, he did, in fact, beg your pardon, to Michael O'Connor. I think he fed it inside, but the ball was knocked forward. Well, Michael O'Connor being given the sponsors Man of the Match award for today's performance. Definitely a hard decision. He's had a good game, O'Connor, coming into the full-back position, asking to be placed at full-back, then he could link up with the backs in the movements, but certainly Shane Cooper's had a good game. Obviously a difficult decision, but O'Connor has come up with the award. So Salford awarded another penalty there, and from the added yardage from the kick-up field, they spread it to the left. It's Ian Gormley trying to come through, but Sean Allen quickly in there, snuffs him out. Salford still in possession, but they've certainly done nothing this second half. The ball now with Mick McTeague. It's time to keep it going through David Kearns there, this wily half-back. Solid tackling and a superb team performance. I must keep reiterating about this team performance from the Saints today. They certainly got it together. Gibson now at a dummy half. Salford moving it left. Solid tackle there, Sean Allen again. It's the last tackle of this set of 6 for Salford. Peter Williams trying a little chip kick through, but well taken by David Tanner. Ian Blease, well, he doesn't like it, Blease. He's trying to rough David Tanner up a bit. Kicking out at the play the ball, but play allowed to go on. The referee had it right on the job, but Phil Beavers comes through with the ball. Stuart Evans Straightens up and drives upfield. Just 5 minutes of normal time remaining, plus any added time. Saints in possession. Cooper flicks a lovely ball out to Farber. Into space, Farber. Just brought down by Gibson, I think it is, on the far side. Well, the game, well, the ball being lost in the tattle as Mick McTeague went in there on Sean Allen. So knock-on being ruled by referee Allen to scrum down, being formed 10 yards inside the Saints half. Kearns to feed. Salford with a switch move there onto Bentley, I think it is, looks like him. Coming crossfield, O'Connor's back, feeds it inside to Gibson, backing up. Well, as I say, Salford haven't been playing well, but they put it together there. Saints caught napping. Keith Bentley on a switch move, he came from the right, over here to the left, and Gibson backing up, and Gibson finished off in good style behind the sticks. Well, Saints caught napping there, with Bentley coming through. Gibson finishing it off. First score for Salford in this second half. Still trailing by 30 points to 12. Just a formality now for Waddle. Purely slot it over, yes. No problem for Waddle. So that makes the score now 30 points to the Saints, 14 to Salford. Certainly the enthusiastic crowd noise going a bit dull now as the game comes into its last 5 minutes. Farber kicks off, tries to catch Salford on the hop. Well, yes, they have done. Super switch move from Saints there. Laughlin was lining up, but Farber came crossfield, caught them napping. And touched Ken Jones, the substitute back for Salford, over there on the far side. It went dead off Ken Jones. So Salford have to drop out from between their own sticks. Put Saints back on the attack. Cooper in possession, flicks inside to Evans. Tremendous dummy from Evans, and he drives down that far side touchline. Saints back now. We're going to put another try on the board for to seal, definitely, well, not seal this victory. It's already sealed. Where O'Connor chips through for Tanner. Obviously a planned move there. O'Connor linking up, put a chip kick through for Tanner to chase, and Steve Gibson had no option but to kick the ball touching goal. So Waddle forced to drop out again from between his own sticks. Farber. Well, I don't know what the idea of that was, but Farber tried to drop goal. Well, I don't. The scrum down is being ruled. Well, I don't know what. I just don't know what's going on at all there. Unless he's ruled that Farber knocked on. It certainly didn't look like a knock-on in my opinion, but a scrum down is being ruled. Well, something wrong. It's a Saints feed, so it couldn't have been anything that Farber's done. No, Blue has just handed the ball over to Kearns. Salford come up with the ball. Kearns is brought down. Beaver's quickly up there, and Sean Allen. Just levels the scrum count up, I think 3 each. I make it now in this second half. We're in Salford in possession. Mark Moran feeding it right. Well, Salford lose the ball. Snatches it back, so it must be a knock-on. It's going to be a Saints feed this time. Just inside the Saints half. Just about 30 seconds of normal time remaining, plus any time added on, any stoppage time. The score 30 points to 14 for the Saints. Blue feed, the ball comes off Saints side. Cooper links up, feeds it inside to Beavers. Coming through on the charge, driving up centre field. Well, the clock stopped there. An injury to a Salford man. Referee Allen right on the job. Stops the clock immediately as the Salford physio has to come on to give treatment. Well, last season we played Salford in the league. We won both encounters at the Willows. We won by 18 points to 8. 2 late Quirk tries after we was trailing by 8 points to 6. But players allowed to go on now as the Salford man is receiving treatment. While here at Nosey Road we won comprehensively by 24 points to 10. Salford inflicted that third round cup defeat on us by 22 points to 18. But Shane Cooper couldn't gather the ball there. Horrow comes up with it and Salford are back in possession. Ian Gormley now acting half-back. Salford play it blindside onto Williams. He flicks it inside to Matt Teague. Matt Moran attacking half-back. Over to Kearns, spreading it to the right. Onto Bentley. He's had a good game for Salford this afternoon. Bentley changing direction onto Williams. Gives the pass out to Blease. He hurls up this touchline. Feeds it inside to Hadley. Well, Beaver's been stopped on the penalty to the Saints. Well, the man being stopped on, he's only awarded a penalty. Surely that should justify 10 minutes in the sin bin. No need for that at all. Dangerous play, nothing but dangerous play from that Salford player there. So Paul Loughlin finds touch now on the halfway line, just waiting for the full-time hooter. Evans comes through, the first man. Solid three-man tackling there, McTeague, Moran and Gormley, I think it is. Yes, Gormley in again, but Tony Burke. Bluer, Cooper, back to Bluer. On to Paul Farber, into space. Changes direction, Farber tries to flick it up. There's the final hooter. So Saints running on comprehensive winners by 30 points to 14. A tremendous team display. Certainly a game you'd like to watch again. Started off very slow in the first half, just an 8-minute Waddle penalty goal, 2-0 to Salford. Then it was 6 minutes before the interval, before the game erupted, with Cooper try, converted by Loughlin, 6 points to 2 for Saints. Then Blease try, converted by Waddle, 8 points to 6 for Salford. Then right on the 40th minute, Paul Farber diving over for a try, converted by Loughlin. That made the half-time score 12 points to 8. Then in the second half, Statman Cooper again, a 13th minute try, converted by Loughlin, 18-8. Then a 25th minute Bernard Dwyer's try, right from the acting half-back position, also converted by Loughlin, 24-8. Then Loughlin himself came through at pace and scored just to the left of the sticks, converted his own try, 30 points to 8, and then just going very lax 4 minutes from the end with Gibson lynching onto the end of a Keith Bentley pass, converted by Waddle. He touched down right behind the stick, so easily converted by Waddle. So the final score is 30 points to 14 for the Saints. So on behalf of Saints Rugby Club, Peter Tushingham Photography, your regular cameraman Brian Pears, myself, Ron Hoof, I bid you farewell from Nosey Road, a very misty Nosey Road, and we hope you'll join us again next week at Wigginton Road, York, where the Minster men entertain the Saints, as Saints go on the defence of their John Player Trophy, which they won last season, beating Leeds at 15 points to 14 at Wigan. Certainly a tough task at York, second division club, unknown, and certainly York will want to inflict a defeat on the Saints.